I added Node Mailer, and now I want to use Node Mailer to send an email. For that, in my off.js file, which is the only file where I will interact with it, I will import Node Mailer and store it in a constant at the top. So require Node Mailer like this. And I will also import SendGrid Transport. You can name these constants the way you want, as always. And this will import Node Mailer SendGrid Transport. With that imported, I can initialize a couple of things here. For Node Mailer, we need to initialize a so-called transporter. So that is essentially some setup telling Node Mailer how your emails will be delivered, because as I mentioned, NodeJS won't do this on its own. You need some third-party service for that. So here I will use Node Mailer and then call the createTransport method. In createTransport, we can now pass SendGrid Transport and execute this as a function, because this function will then return a configuration that Node Mailer can use to use SendGrid. Now, to that SendGrid Transport function, we pass an object where we pass an auth object. And this in turn holds an object where we have to pass in an API user and an API key field. Now, both are values you get from inside your SendGrid account. So if you head back to your SendGrid account, you can click on Settings here, and then API Keys, and there create a new API key. You want to give that a name, and I'll name it Node Shop. The name is totally up to you. And I'll take full access and create this. Now take that key, and you actually only need that key. You could have used your username and password, but I'll just use the API key. So just that key which you copied here. Of course, use your own key, not mine. And with that, you configured the transporter. Now, with the transporter configured, you can now use it to send an email. And I want to send an email after signing up, let's say. So in post sign up, once I'm done. So here, when I also redirect back to the login page, here I want to send my message, and I use the transporter for that, and then there is a sendMail method we can execute. To that method, you pass a JavaScript object where you configure the email you want to send. For example, the to field, so to whom this should go. Well, it should go to our email address, of course. From, so which email address will be displayed, and here I will have shop@nodecomplete.com, let's say. Then a subject, sign up succeeded, and then HTML content, so the content of your message. Now you could have a complex HTML message. I'll just add a H1 tag here. You successfully signed up, like that. So this is the message I want to send. Now sendMail then gives me a promise, so I can use a then and catch. Or, of course, I simply return that, and then I redirect in the next then block, so once the email has been sent. However, that is up to you. You could also redirect immediately and not wait for this to be sent, because you're not really relying on that being sent. And so this will send, and at the same time, you redirect. So whatever you want. What you should do, though, is, if that is your plan, you might want to switch positions here and still return that, so that you can still catch any errors that are stemming from this. So that here we could still log any errors we might be getting. Or do something else with these errors, of course. With this setup added, let's give it a try. Let's head over and sign up. And now you should use a real email address, of course, otherwise it can't arrive. Click sign up here. I'm redirected. And now check your email account. And in that email account, you should have an email from shop@nodecomplete.com with that message. If you don't get it, verify you entered the correct email, and also feel free to verify your SendGrid email. You should have gotten an email from SendGrid when signing up. Verify your email address there. But with that, this should work, and you should be able to send emails like this. Now, dive into the official SendGrid docs and also in the Node Mailer docs if you want to learn way more about what you can do there, Also, as I mentioned, Google for Node Mailer and your favorite emailing service if you want to use a different one. But this is the general theme of how this works.